In 2016, we played the Sweet 16 on Holy Thursday, which, for Christians around the world, that's a big deal. And so, I didn't need to make up what the scripture was going to be. I said, guys, Christians are all around the world are doing what Jesus taught us all to do. And that is, don't wait to be served, serve others. And what he did was he said, don't do as I say, do as I do. And he bent down and he washed the feet of all his disciples. I said, guys, we could do that. And I'm telling you, that's not something you do just for the fun of it. You do that with a group that is dialed in spiritually, mentally, and tied together as brothers. And the next thing you know, Coach Wright took off his socks and shoes. And I washed his feet. And then Ryan Arch took off his socks and shoes, and Coach washed his feet. And then Chris Jenkins took off his socks and shoes, and Arch washed his feet. And they washed Josh and Daniel and everybody on that team, the managers, the kids that do the laundry, the walk-ons, the assistant coaches' wives, everybody. Because, Coach Wright used to say, our roles are different, but our status is the same.
Yeah.
And so we're all servants. We're all in this together. And that was a powerful moment for us. That came right out of the scripture, and that was just a bunch of guys who were willing to do it that way. And when we played that game, doesn't mean you're going to win every game. But we came in the locker room after that game, and before Coach said a word about the game, he said, guys, you know what we did tonight? And they all were like looking at him. He said, we washed each other's feet. Yeah. And they all knew what that meant. It meant we give it up for each other. And so that was the mindset. That was the culture. That was the bond that we went through that tournament in. Now, you don't always have that because, sometimes there's different things that kind of break into that. But when it's there, when it's that strong, that's a powerful force.